The man whispered only 2 words, "Don't talk," and in that second, the entire steakhouse fell silent. Nobody noticed what he noticed, not even the police chief sitting 5 feet away. But what this single dad veteran saw would change every life in that room forever. The steakhouse was warm and full of soft laughter, the kind of place where people came to forget their worries. Soft jazz music played in the background, glasses clinked, and the smell of grilled meat filled every corner. For most people inside, it was just another peaceful night. But for Daniel Carter, it was never just another night. Daniel was a single father and a former military veteran. He sat near the corner booth with his 8-year-old daughter, Lily, who was coloring quietly with her crayons while waiting for their food. To the world, Daniel looked calm. But inside his mind, it was different. Years of combat training never really left him. His eyes scanned every doorway, every moving shadow, every reflection in glass. It wasn't fear, it was instinct. Across the room sat Police Chief Raymond Harlow, a respected man in the city. He was in uniform, enjoying a rare peaceful dinner alone. People occasionally gave him nods of respect, but most let him eat in peace. Harlow had spent years protecting the city. Tonight, he just wanted quiet. Then Daniel noticed something. At first, it was small. The flicker of a reflection in a shiny wall mirror. The slight twitch of a man's hand near the gift rack by the entrance. The man pretended to browse, but his eyes weren't on the items, they were locked on the chief. Daniel's jaw tightened. Lily smiled up at her father. "Daddy, can I get dessert later?" "Of course, sweetheart," Daniel said softly, but his voice had changed. Controlled. Focused. The man at the entrance slid his hand slowly into his jacket. Daniel stood up quietly. He didn't run. He didn't shout. That would cause panic. Instead, he walked past tables as calmly as possible and stopped beside the police chief. He leaned down just enough so only Harlow could hear him. "Don't talk," Daniel whispered. The chief frowned slightly. "What?" Daniel's eyes locked with his. "Stay calm. Don't move." The chief's training kicked in immediately. He saw something in Daniel's eyes, not fear, not madness, but certainty. Time felt thicker. The man by the entrance stopped walking. Daniel slowly raised his hands, pretending to stretch, positioning himself perfectly between the chief and the entrance. To everyone else, it looked normal, like a man passing by. But to Daniel, it was war all over again. The man's hand cracked open his jacket just slightly. And Daniel was ready. Everything happened in a blink. The man's hand moved faster. But Daniel moved faster. He knocked a heavy metal tray from a nearby waiter's hands. It hit the floor with a loud crash. The restaurant froze. Heads turned. The man at the entrance hesitated, just 1 second. That second saved lives. The police chief sprang to action, flipping the table in one swift motion and drawing his weapon in a controlled, precise movement. Other undercover officers, who were quietly seated nearby, revealed themselves. The man tried to run. He didn't make it 2 steps. Within moments, he was restrained on the floor, trembling, defeated. Inside his jacket wasn't just a weapon, it was a crude device meant to cause chaos. It wasn't just a robbery. It wasn't just an attack. It was something much worse. The restaurant was cleared. Parents held their children tightly. People shook. Some cried. And Daniel? He went straight back to Lily. He knelt in front of her, kissing her forehead. "You okay, pumpkin?" She nodded slowly. "Daddy, you looked scary." He smiled softly. "I was just making sure you were safe." Later that night, as police cars lit up the street, the chief approached Daniel outside. His face wasn't the proud commander look, it was humble. "I owe you my life," he said quietly. Daniel shook his head. "No. You still protect this city. I just helped for a moment." The chief looked at Lily, who held Daniel's hand tightly. "Your daughter will grow up knowing her father didn't just survive battles, he prevented one." Daniel swallowed hard. Years of quiet pain. Years of sleepless nights. Years of feeling invisible. And in one moment, it all meant something. As they walked away, Lily squeezed his hand. Daddy? Yes, baby? I think you're a hero. Daniel looked up at the night sky. And for the first time in a very long time, he believed her. Glowing Star final message for viewers. Sometimes, the strongest heroes don't wear medals. They sit quietly in restaurants. Watching. Protecting. And loving, without asking for anything in return.